Welcome to episode 12 of the Hot Teapot. I don't know why I was just stood up.
That was enthusiastic. I
It was enthusiastic. We should have all stand up more and do this.
No, I'll stay
No,
sat
I quite
down
like
and do
sitting
this.
down with a cup of tea.
You're not even sat down, you're kneeling.
And I've got no chair.
This is the economy we've been led to. But Brexit's at it again, taking our chairs.
Literally, though, I am choking on my... I've got a frog in my throat.
What?
I said I've got a frog in my throat.
Okay.
Have you ever heard
Never
that?
heard that expression.
Basically, if your throat gets clogged up, and I've heard people say it, mostly people from Wigan, and I'm like, they're coughing up, and like, oh, hang on, I've got a frog in my throat.
I've got a frog in my throat.
And then they always go, I've never been to France. It somehow makes it hilarious.
I'm laughing at it now. I'm disappointed in myself for laughing at that now.
But that's what just happened. So, yes, the Hot Teapot. As we were just saying, yes, I am knelt down on the floor. Kieran is sat on the bed, as obviously I'm a gracious host, and I've allowed him a comfortable seating. Whereas I am in the process of redecorating my bedroom. I'm going to get beanbags.
I'm hoping you do.
Yeah, we've been talking about beanbags for 3 months on this podcast.
We've been hyping ourselves up for beanbags.
The beanbags are definitely on the cards. You can't not have, because I want to turn my room into a studio, kind of an office thing. I need beanbags, you know. I need a desk with a nice chair, but I also need beanbags for chill.
I expect when it's renovated, I'll come in, it'll be some sort of Zen palace.
Oh yeah.
Like you'll have a water feature in the corner, and I'll go, please sit down, Kieran. You're already meditating on your beanbag of scented candles around.
That's the thing. A lot of people's perceptions of me, and even my own friends, even my own friend Luke does this. Luke Romeo. He's always, their people's perception of me is often, oh my god, he's so full of energy, and it's like, yes, you're right, I am full of energy, but when I'm chilling, I take chilling to the next level.
Like
I have sensory lights, candles, I've a blacked out room, and I just sit and I listen to like Rush or The Doors or just something, and I will just chill. When I'm editing my videos as well, like, I'm presuming if you're listening to this podcast, you know I make videos. Kieran makes them too. And what happens is I have to get into that zone. Like, I can't edit in the daytime when there's noise and things, so I have to create my vibe, which in my bedroom right now is candles and lights, and even that light's too bright. So that's what I mean. Like,
I'm not epileptic, don't worry. Just flashing that light at me.
And I just really like my own sort of zen zone. It creates a really good comfort place for me.
I'm very happy when I'm relaxing in my own company.
Yeah.
I like sitting down at my computer playing a few video games.
What do you do to relax? Just play video games and stuff?
That's the way I wind. Video games.
What are they?
Video games. What? That's just how I unwind. You know, it takes you away to this place, away from whatever's going on in the world. Video games are cool.
For me, when I'm relaxed is when my creativity is at its best.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm stressed or anything, like, for example, if I'm at work and things are getting stressed, and I'll come home, I'll relax, and I will have ideas. Like, for example, me and Kieran are working on a movie right now. We're planning a movie that we're going to make at the end of this year. And, I do it when I'm chilled.
Yeah.
Like, I may have ideas all day, but I will come home and I will relax, and I will get into this really good zone, and I'll be like, right, this is time to work.
I think one of the burdens that we have, because we both have quite creative minds, like musically and creating things.
Yeah.
It's like one of the burdens I have, as I'm guessing you do as well. I'll just zone out.
Yep.
Middle of conversations. I mean, it appears really rude, but it's just the way I am. People will be talking. I'm just thinking, this is a good idea. Let's just roll with something else.
You're right.
It's got a good quality.
It's not bad. I mean, I'm guilty of being rude to people sometimes.
Unintentionally though.
Completely unintentionally. But obviously, I cite myself as quite an honest person. If someone asks me for my opinion, I will always be honest. I will always try and be as real as possible. I think that helps. Yeah. And for me, what I always find, what people may find irritating about me, is that they're talking about something. And if I start looking at my phone, or I will just say, can we just talk about something else? But it'll be boring stuff. Like, there'll be somebody in work who will be always like, oh, hey, Daddy, what are you having for your tea tonight?
Oh, I hate that question.
And I'm just like,
so much.
I'm like, do you care? And they're like, whoa. Like,
no, I'm more polite than that. I'll tell them, but I don't think that far ahead. Who knows what they're having for tea tonight?
Exactly.
They're the worst kind of people who know what they're having for tea.
And like, for example, there were two people once, and they were having a conversation near me, and they were like, oh, I might have pizza, I might have curry, but oh, I might treat myself to a takeaway for tea. You know me. I'm like,
what a snooze fest.
I'm just like, why don't we talk about something amazing? Like, why don't we talk about the how you, if you focus and concentrate hard enough, I think you can feel the earth move.
No, I disagree completely. I'll bring you back down to earth now.
That's how relaxed I am.
If you could feel the earth move, you're moving at like 1,000 miles an hour. Daddy, why are you screaming? Help!
So, well, let's get straight into it. We're talking about planets. The big news today, as we're recording this, it is 21. Why did I bang on my screen? It's 21:20. It is the 10th of October. The new Star Wars trailer just dropped. The Last Jedi. It's the second one of this whole sort of sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I've already watched it a few times today. Kieran, you watched it about 10 minutes ago when you said we've not watched it. Time. So, Kieran, what were your first impressions of the new Star Wars trailer?
It's very similar to every trailer that comes out with films these days. Starts off quiet and builds up, and I like that style. It was a really good trailer. I'm looking forward to that film. I think there's a lot of stuff that I saw that got me. I like how they're turning everything up. You know, is it the AT-AT one?
Yes.
Like, they've just put masks on them. They've got helmets on now or whatever they've got.
Yeah,
they look
red
a little
eyes.
bit different, and it looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah, to be honest, first time I watched it, it didn't do anything for me.
No.
I watched it this morning. I got up at 8:30 this morning. I checked my social media. I set my alarm because I knew the Star Wars trailer was coming out. I wanted to see it. So I watched it and I was like, this doesn't do anything for me. And then I watched it again at dinner time. I watched it again an hour later and I was like, okay. But then when we just watched it then, I was like, actually,
This looks good.
this actually looks okay.
I think there's a lot of clever editing in it, though.
Very clever editing, but it's how you make a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, you essentially just try and... It's essentially clickbait in visual form.
Absolutely. That last part where Rey's there
Yeah.
and then says, I need someone to help me through it, and then Kylo holds out his hand. I think they're two completely different scenes.
They are obviously too,
Yeah.
but then again, they might. What if they could throw us all off the count and then?
There we go.
So-
I like what they're doing, Kylo. You can see he struggle a lot.
Yes.
You know, you could. Well, with Darth Vader, it was never quite clear that he didn't want to be there until the last part, where obviously through the Emperor's spoilers.
Yes. If you haven't seen Return of the Jedi,
What are you doing? You're
Yeah.
probably not too interested in the sequel. But then you can see his struggle with all.
100%.
There's going to be really good. I mean, I think he sucked in the first film, skill-wise. Good
yeah,
character.
I think that's exactly what the character was. The
Yeah.
character was supposed to be
He
bad.
got battered by Rey, who only just picked up a lightsaber.
Exactly.
He's like, just swung it at him and kind of won. That was embarrassing for him.
It would, but it was a good movie, The Force Awakens. I liked it. So I want to talk about predictions. Now, I want to talk about what do you think is going to happen. Give me 3 things you think is going to happen in Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Oh, that's a good question. Luke is going to be sad. That's per usual.
Yeah.
No, I think he'll wander off at one point. I think he'll do the Han Solo thing. Maybe he'll wander off. Probably let the emotions get the better of him.
Yep.
Come back at the last minute and save something.
Yeah, it definitely looks from the trailer that he looks sensitive, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks sad all the time. He's just constantly got tears. I mean, you can understand why from when you listen to the story. I think. Do you know what? I think Chewbacca might die.
I think they need to hurry up and. I mean, obviously they're gonna be getting rid of Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia.
Obviously.
I think they need to. If Star Wars truly wants to just embrace a new sort of generation, get rid of them all. Be bold.
I don't know. Maybe not in one fell swoop. I mean, they got rid of Han Solo, but that was spoiled for me the morning I was going watching that.
Was it?
Yeah, I was on a meme and I went to the comments section and it said, "Don't forget that Han Solo dies." Like, oh, okay. So I went in there knowing that was going to happen. But it didn't ruin the film for me. When it happened, it still. I didn't cry.
No,
Because you know my opinions of the Han Solo character. We've discussed it before, but I thought it was a really good scene. Really good. I enjoyed it when Han Solo came back. A bit of nostalgia got me there, which was
yeah,
nice.
100%. So unexpected as well. Like it's just like, oh, this is how they're back. Like, whoa.
Yeah. And then the third thing I think is going to happen. I think they're turning. I forgot his name. There's Rey and the other protagonist, Finn. Is it Finn? The one who was a stormtrooper.
Yeah, that's Finn.
Yeah. I think he's just going to become like the new Han Solo.
Yeah,
You know, he's going to be, maybe he'll be Chewbacca's friend, then Chewbacca will die, and he'll find another Wookiee or something like that.
No, that should not happen. Well, what I think they've done, Peter Mayhew now is retired from playing Chewbacca, and as of this film, he's no longer portraying Chewbacca. He's handed the role to someone else.
Right.
So I think a much younger person.
How old is he?
He's very old. Very old.
I'm guessing he's a very tall man as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my opinion is they wouldn't have put a younger person in that role if they weren't gonna. Because the thing with Chewbacca, he can last as a character. He can last more.
Law-wise, how long do Wookiees live for?
God knows.
Well, if you look at the Christmas special,
which we won't be doing.
have you had the privilege of watching that?
No.
Oh man, you're missing out. I've seen clips.
I've never seen it. I never want to. I respect George Lucas enough to when he says don't watch it.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
Don't watch the
he has
Christmas
said,
special.
please don't watch it, and he said he will not rest until every copy is destroyed.
Why did he make it then?
It was one of those things that was made due to like commercials and people in
people
studios
liked it and stuff.
Yeah. But other than that, like my prediction is I think Kylo Ren is gonna, because you saw him conflicted in that trailer. He looked conflicted. There was something occurring within his head, and it looked to be the sort of situation they placed it in was that he was ready to blow up the spaceship containing his mum. And I don't think he could do it. Kylo Ren is obviously a mummy's boy. He loves his mum. He resents his dad. That's clearly the vibe.
Well,
right?
isn't the whole fan theory that, like, when he said to Han Solo, I need you to do something, did Han Solo press the button? Isn't that the theory? I like that theory.
I don't know. But I think, by the end of this movie, I think Kylo Ren will be in the light, and Rey will be in the dark.
You reckon there's going to be a big heel turn?
Yeah.
Who's turning bad? Ooh.
I predict that. Because they have shown that Rey is powerful.
Yeah.
And it looks to like the trailers like she looks frustrated with Luke. And I think that, and I think a lot of the dialogue that Snoke had in the first movie and otherwise, like, I think it's very much hinting towards Rey turning to the dark side.
No, I don't think that. I think it'll come back. I think Kylo will come to the light side maybe in the last movie.
Right.
Like, officially back to the light side to maybe fight Snoke or something like that. Oh, do we have any backstory of Snoke?
No. Well,
yes. I know there was something leaked, but
there was something
didn't read
leaked.
it.
I read it. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone.
Is it legit leaked though? Is that the official story?
Leak, yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it satisfying?
No.
No.
No. We'll put it this way: he's not Palpatine. He's not Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He's not a character you already know. They explain it very well.
We'll find out this movie though.
Yeah, at Christmas time. I'll tell you off microphone. I don't want to spoil it for the audience.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's my main prediction. Is I think it's going to twist everything. I think Rey is going to start to turn to the dark, and I think Kylo is going to redeem himself and something. Like, it'd be really honourable, especially with kind of this obviously being Carrie Fisher's last Star Wars movie. If they have done something, just something like she redeems him, where his father failed. She brings him back. She redeems him, and I think Snoke, because obviously Snoke is using Kylo Ren. He's manipulating.
Yeah, that's
him.
obvious. Yeah.
The same way the Emperor manipulated Darth Vader. I think he's going to get what he needs to get, Kylo, and turn his focus on drawing Rey to the dark side.
Well, is the rule of two still applying in this Star Wars?
No, I don't think so. That applied with the Sith.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not that anymore.
It's not the Sith anymore.
No, because the prequels, they made a big point of following, the traditions of the Jedi or the traditions of the Sith. Traditions of the Sith were like that. Whereas now it's kind of like it's not that,
Yeah.
It's different rules.
I never got with the films how this entire new army just sprung up out of nowhere.
The First Order.
Yeah.
Well, it was explained in the fact of the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor was killed, but remnants of the Empire remained.
Yeah.
And they continued on. Whereas the Republic was reformed and everything like that, and Luke attempted to get the Jedi Order going again. But with the First Order, they attempted to try and they held on to what the Empire had.
Yeah.
And it was only then in Force Awakens, spoiler alert, but they let out the thing that destroyed all the planets of the Republic.
And Jar Jar Binks. So who's the good guy? No, who killed Jar Jar?
So it's like, it's essentially that. It's like, well, what? There's now no Republic. There is only the Resistance and the First Order.
I never got why they were called the Resistance, though, because they were more powerful.
Because they were almost like They were kind of like, they're just trying to rehash the Rebel and the Empire, okay?
All right, okay. I mean, I get why they've done it, but there's probably a lot of plot holes.
In the lore of it, they're the part of the Republic that fights the First Order.
Yeah.
They resist the First Order.
Well, there we go.
Explain. Boom. Mic drop. I'm actually kind of like hyped for Star Wars. You know,
Yeah,
I loved Force Awakens.
that.
I loved Rogue One. Rogue One is the movie that I credit with sort of inspiring me to start making movies. So yeah, that's where we're at on Star Wars.
I very much look forward to it.
It's gonna be a good vibe, definitely.
You want to take some Twitteroonies?
Yeah, let's have a look. So just before we put the microphone recording, I asked asked my followers. Obviously, Kieran shared it as well to his.
For all my 2 followers.
We just asked for some questions, just some things. Just if anyone wants anything discussing. So,
what made you decide to name the podcast the Hot Teapot?
Do you want to answer that one?
Well, we was talking about making a podcast, and there was a teapot in front of us. It's not a very exciting story, really. And then we noticed the teapot was hot, and we kind of went, well, there we go, the Hot Teapot. Yeah, that's a good name for a podcast. We'll have that.
Another one was, do you think that alien life is possible, already exists, and the government are hiding something?
Ooh.
Let's get into that. Let's
get
into alien
That's
life.
a good question.
It's a good segue from Star Wars into aliens.
Well, yes or no answer to start off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a yes.
I think, but I also have my other theory.
Oh.
And this is something I believe people above us know. But obviously they will never tell anyone because due to people who follow religion makes money, other things like that. I think it is too precious to ever say this. And this is what I believe. These are my theories. You ready?
Here we go.
I believe millions of years ago, aliens came to Earth, mated with the chimps, the apes, and humans are the result of that. What do you think? It would explain how we are so advanced over every other species on this planet.
That doesn't explain it.
It
What
does.
smart species goes to a planet and bangs with an animal? What kind of That's not a smart species. That's just
Yeah, but these are aliens. You don't know what they're like.
And can they mate with them?
Maybe they can. Maybe that's why we're so different.
We're not that different though. We've got 99.98% identical to a chimpanzee.
Exactly. Maybe that's what they mated with. We're all descended from the same thing.
No, we're not. We're descended from a related thing. That's how
Yeah.
evolution works.
Yeah, but what if it wasn't necessarily evolution in that way? It was evolution because bear in mind the original humans very very similar to the primates, right?
Well, they weren't very similar. They were primates.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what it was.
You're going full Tim Allen on this.
That's what I believe. Genuinely.
My problem is with that. Well, the evolution is we shared a common one, and we all just branched out from there. Hence why there's still dogs and wolves. Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean, but I believe that we all shared the common thing. But
I don't.
while the rest of everyone evolved naturally, I believe aliens came mated with that, and then we stemmed separately from that.
I think people completely overestimate how smart human beings are.
Yeah.
We're destroying our own planet.
Because we're aliens.
We're killing it. We're not aliens. Well, we are
Yeah.
other aliens. My opinion is that there are aliens out there, but they've never visited this planet, and nor do I think they ever will, because assuming life would sort of start at a similar time as a result of the Big Bang Theory, which is kind of generally accepted among us people.
Yep.
So, like, you'd have to discover something super, and then most elements are identical anyway. There's like 4 main elements in the world.
They're consistent throughout the universe.
Yeah, exactly, and we're made of them, so that's how insignificant we are. You know, if you think of it that way, we're made of the 4 most popular things on a thing. That maybe, I think it's Neil deGrasse Tyson who goes into this really well.
Yeah.
And so I suggest go looking at him at some point for that. But I don't think they'd come and bang an animal.
It always comes back to that.
Well, you brought it up. I wouldn't turn up to a planet and go, oh, that's a nice looking 2-legged primate.
So another question was, now when you left school/college, did you have a plan on what you wanted to do?
No.
No, me neither.
No.
I always knew I never wanted a normal life. because I was always doing things whilst in school, like when I did my festivals and stuff. But I knew I never wanted this normal life, and I'm an attention seeker. I have always been in something that has required attention. I thrive off attention.
Naturally, all humans are, but
Exactly.
people tend not to admit it.
Yeah, so true.
People thrive off attention, so it works.
Yeah, and I just kind of left. When I left school, I did go to college. I went to college for 2 weeks, and I never had to be there. And I was studying music technology, despite having for the 3 years previous worked in a recording studio.
So it was all very mundane, and you've
It was all
been there,
very
done that.
mundane. And the day my tutor raised his voice to me, I left.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't need to be here. You don't need to speak to me like that. I'm gone. And I was like, I know. My work ethic, I can achieve more than he can.
Yeah.
And it's just that kind of mentality. And I eventually just I left college. I really threw loads of time into the band I was doing at the time. And, me and Chris, who were in that band, Chris Horrocks, we spent every single night writing songs.
Yeah.
And then putting our band together. And then recording those songs and recording them really in a really high-end studios, a lead-lined recording studio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Asbestos everywhere.
Too much money Lisa Stansfield's got. We recorded our first single in her studio, and I believed in that, and I pursued that band for a long time, and then I worked hard through that. That then led to a dude called Luke Potter finding me online and saying, dude, you need to come and play in my band. And I was like, yeah, let's do it, because my band was starting to fizzle out. And I dropped that. I was just like, right, I need to now pursue me. And I have always put myself forward over anything I've ever done in life. So I dropped that band, and I moved down to Weston-super-Mare and started working with that dude. We wrote loads of songs together. We ended up writing the second song we ever wrote together ended up going into the Australian charts, which we didn't know because we wrote it like a year before it was released. So we never anticipated that. But I went on tours, and we worked together a lot, and I have a really good eye for social media, and he needed help with his. So that's what led me then to start my digital marketing company, my sort of social media growth and development, which I ran for about 2 years. And it all started with Luke. I remember we grew his sort of profile from essentially ground up to over now like 300,000 people engaging with him, following him, whatever. Eventually he got a record deal with Sony, which was amazing, and I'd like to think that a lot of my work sort of contributed to that. Absolutely. I then just kind of, what did I do? I can't even remember what I did after that. I kept running my business. I started working with a band in Australia. That was amazing. We wrote a bunch of songs together. Then when I sort of took on managing them, they ended up with their number 2 hit in the charts, which I wrote, which was amazing. And then that sort of brings us up to last year, 2016, where I was touring again. Like I hadn't toured for about a year at that point. Went on tour with them. I got them a gig at Glastonbury, and we went to Glastonbury Festival. And when people ask what are the moments of your life that you remember that stand out to you, being carried around in a VIP cart,
that's always nice,
around Glastonbury Festival will always stand out to me. Then, me and Mitch, the singer of that band, became really close friends after that. He came back to the UK to hang out. Like a 24-hour trip around the world to hang out. That was always great. We started writing with someone in Essex, my other friend Chris. We then decided to start making some content together. We did that when we went on tour with Bus at the beginning of this year, and just through that, and that sort of has kind of all been a circle to lead me to where I am now. So did I have a plan? No. Was any of this planned? No. How does it happen? Couldn't tell you. It is just a series of hard work and circumstance. That is the most long-winded answer to a question ever.
I mean, watch the time. I'm going to do it in a minute.
Okay.
I went to college. I was tired of being skint. I got a job. That job killed me, not literally, but emotionally. It drained everything I had from it. So I went from this guy of being, I've never been the best looking guy, I've never been the smartest guy, but I'm quite often the funniest. And that has got me quite far.
Yeah, it has.
As in social wise. So then this work has just sort of sucked it out of me, and it made me to this person I really don't like.
Yeah.
And now I'm coming back out of that. So
good.
You know.
I remember when because me and you didn't see each other for about 4 or 5 years.
No.
Really. And then after a family christening, I bumped into you in the pub, and I was telling you and Ross all about my life and what I was up to. And you were so not dismissive, but yeah, real world will get you soon, my mate.
And then, it did. The real world has sort of got you. You've got a part-time job for now.
I did, yeah. I did actually. Yeah, you're right. It did kind of, in some way.
Not as much as I hoped.
But the way you. But the more time we've spent working, and I've like sort of coming up with ideas and creating, it's encouraged you to be so much more yourself and actually start pursuing. Think, right, you know what? I am funny. I can do this, and that's exactly what you're doing, which is amazing.
It's nice to have a guy there who's like, no, stop doing that. Do this.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not that guy. You are funny, and you know it was like all of a sudden people are telling me recently like how funny I am, and I completely forgot. You know, and I don't like blowing my own trumpet. You know, I don't like having pictures taken. I don't like blowing my own trumpet. I get really uncomfortable at compliments. But then it's like all these people. It's like I don't like it. Okay. So you know, I'm going to be trying stuff soon. So
absolutely.
Keep an eye out for it.
You're the funniest human being I've ever encountered.
Don't cry, Kieran.
But I felt that just about answers that question. Yeah. Like, I mean. Yeah.
Why is everyone? I mean, as much as we appreciate the questions, they're all very long answered ones.
They are, which is fine.
And let's just do a quick one for you. What's your advice for young creators? Asked by Amy Young.
Amy, I am a young creator.
So what would you like him to say? Do what he does.
The way I see it is when I first started making videos in the first 2 weeks of January this year, I went out with no money, no job, no income. My business has failed. I have no problem admitting that. There is nothing wrong with failing.
So you learn?
Yeah. My social media business, which I'd run for 2 years, started to bomb. I was no longer making any money, and it was just not doing well at all. And so then with no income, no job, I went and got myself a credit plan. And I used that credit plan to buy a camera. And a few weeks previously, I'd gone to see Rogue One at the cinema, which was directed by my agent's childhood best friend. And there was something about that movie that, and I don't get me wrong, I don't think it's the best movie in the world, but there was something about it that lit that spark in me, and I was like, I want to make movies. I just want to do it. So I went and got a finance plan on a camera that I couldn't afford, which is hilarious.
It's not a good idea. For the record, don't take finances you can't afford. It'll kill your credit, and you'll never get anything.
Yeah.
Unless you get lucky and turn up with someone.
But at the same time, you have to take risks.
Financial risks are different to risks. Don't take financial risks.
I took that risk, and I started making stuff. I made 2 videos, which are now no longer on the internet. Well, they're actually unlisted. I'll make them public one day. And all of a sudden, I then got a call from my friend Chris, and he was like, "Yo, can you come on tour for a month? We need a merch guy." And I was like, "Yeah, cool. Can we vlog?" And he was like, "Yes, that's a great idea." So then I picked up the vlogging, which is something.
Yeah, you still have a channel, don't you?
We did, yeah.
On its current hiatus.
Oh, it's currently on hiatus.
How long of a hiatus has it been on now?
Too long.
When do we pronounce it dead?
Anyway,
I'm joking.
Anyway, we made content a lot. We made a lot of stuff this year. We did 2 series, and then we went on tour with Chris's own tour, which was amazing. Got to meet lots of people, and all of a sudden, all those people on the with Twitter accounts and numbers on YouTube suddenly arrived, and they were real people who loved what we were doing, which was amazing. And then my friend Chris went to America, and he was like, "I'm going to America for 3 months," and I was like, "Okay." We kind of decided we were going to we were going to still make stuff every so often, but the sort of series, as it were, was kind of the sort of consistency. For example, I couldn't afford to stay in Southend. It's a very expensive place. Could not afford to stay there. Chris couldn't come up here because he had a lot of stuff going on back there. So we were like, right, we'll collaborate every so often. That's what this will become. We'll just make it a collaboration. And when he went to America, I then started my own. I then started vlogging on my own thing. and I just fell more in love with it than I ever had before, being able to make my own movies. And I was like, wow, this is actually amazing. And there's people out there who like them, and not even the people who we met on the Busted tour doing those vlogs. There are now new people, and it feels amazing. And the only sort of advice that I'd have in terms of that is just make stuff.
The words of Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just because I'm a young creator too, I'm in the exact same boat, and just make stuff. And one thing that I found very useful, something that has made me infinitely stronger as a creator, is I work a part-time job that I hate. And I resent it, and I resent every moment that I'm there. I resent not all of the people I'm around. There are some absolutely amazing, lovely people there, but that whole environment, that whole workplace, dead mind, zombie environment. I'm there for 4 hours, Monday to Friday, and every minute that I'm there, my passion for what I love becomes stronger, and I have more urge and more desire to go out and do that, what I want to be doing. So yes, I'm working a part-time job to make some money because I closed my clothing line down. However, it is serving a much greater purpose, and that's why I haven't left. It's because I can feel that job making me stronger as a creative person.
Well, remind me in future videos, as much as we appreciate your answers, to time cap your answers.
Dude, it's fine. We can overrun. We've overrun worse than this before.
Yeah, we'll keep going. We've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we'll keep it nice and short now.
Yeah. Let's try.
Short answer.
We've talked motivation. We've talked inspirational. Let's.
Amy Young's put another one. That's not really a question. Pineapples.
I mean, I've only ever had pineapple once in my life, and that was on pizza. Didn't actually think it was that bad.
You're an animal. This is the end of a Hot Teapot forever. I'm resigning. What's wrong with you?
I didn't even know what it was. I was like, this is alright. What is it? It's like, it's Hawaiian. I was like, cool.
People put peas and mayonnaise on the pizza.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Peas. I like peas.
Mayonnaise is only ever useful. Don't get me wrong. I don't even like peas. But mayonnaise.
What's
is
where you
amazing.
go in here?
In Subway, I only really like mayo with chicken, and that's always my Subway order. Chicken mayo.
Emily Frith. Is that
Emily, yo.
Frith.
What's Emily saying?
How amazing Emily Frith is. That's not a question.
Her music's pretty good. I urge everyone to go and check her out. Her music is very good, and her dad's a film director and made her a really good artsy music video.
How much did you just get paid to say that?
£500.
Oh, she's really good. I'll have 500 quid and all. Amazing. Go and check her out. Do you believe in the supernatural / paranormal / life after death?
Oh.
No, and no.
No, I don't really.
No.
Everyone talks about. Yeah, I believe. Well, I kind of don't. I don't believe in supernatural or paranormal or any of that stuff. My sister is a tarot card reader, and she loves all that stuff. My mum goes to see mediums and stuff like that.
Scam artist of the century.
Yeah, I tell her that.
Can I say something really vague to you, but I'll just generalise it? I think you're the kind of person that when you're at a party, you like to be the life and soul of it, but when you get home, you really regret some of the things you might have said. Just sum up everyone in one sentence. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's how cold reading has always worked. You just say something really vague about a person, like, "Oh, I bet under your bed you keep a box of something valuable." And I was like, "Oh my god, I do."
Yeah.
Is there a Dave in the room? Does anybody know a Dave?
I'm getting the word.
Tablecloth. Does anybody own a tablecloth?
I'm getting the name John. Is there a John in the audience?
I'm John. Have you lost someone recently? Everyone's lost someone. I did 3 years ago. Me dog's favourite dog friend fell off a ledge.
My dog's favourite dog friend
Fell off a ledge and broke its leg, and that vet's daughter's hamster passed away, and that hamster were called John. Oh, right, okay. Well, the hamster's coming through to me now.
It's saying.
Oh, yeah, he said that a lot. He's right. He did say that.
So
I think something paranormal, though. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a paranormal. I want to wake up one day and just a ghost to be sat there, flipping me off, going, "Yeah, I'm real." I go, "Oh, you were real. All right, I'll start believing." But for now,
and I'd love to be a ghost.
And why do ghosts always do something so like mundane and mischievous? Like, if I was a ghost, I wouldn't be shifting glasses across a table.
No, but I would, just to mess with them.
Just move around. I'd be like, I don't know, just knocking it off a table. Pick that up. I'm very passive aggressive now. I'm dead. That's what it's done to me. Death killed me inside as well.
But that just about wraps up the questions that we've been having. A lot of people saying you don't have to plan your whole, like Charlie Lawless put it in. She said you don't have to plan your whole future, just the next part of your journey. I don't think you should plan at all. I think you should work hard, do what you want to do, and see where it takes you.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Is it?
Yeah, I made this up the other day. You never quite know what you're gonna get, unless you do certain stupid things. Like if you run headfirst into a lamppost, you know what you're gonna get: a hefty concussion.
And that just about wraps up episode 12 of the Hot Teapot. I have been Danny Sim. I have been. Still am actually. Hit me up on Twitter, Danny Sim. Hit me up on Instagram, Danny Sim1. YouTube, Danny Sim. It's all the same.
You can hit me up on Twitter at Kez the Pleb with an S. Don't put Z. Kez like the Kestrel. Don't go on my Instagram. There's nothing there. It's full of wasteless memes.
But yeah, thanks for listening, and hopefully see you guys next week.
Ta-ra.